might be the last time for Maycam Evolve.
I don't know, Jacob. I want to believe in this team. I'm going to put my vote, my energy behind Maycam Evolve, just at least to will them to a third map. It'd be great to see Oregon, territory that we actually are familiar with in this league compared to Villa. So it'll be good to see us go the distance here in this series. But Reven, of course, they're going to do their best to remedy that, John. They would love to put this away in 2 and really establish themselves as the top of this group without question.
Big fan of the Dokkaebi ban by Reven. That's going to probably enable their roamers to stay around for a lot longer in comparison, because you have a lot of active operators in the game currently that can guarantee if a roamer has fallen off. And usually those 2 main operators are going to be Jackal and Dokkaebi. And with one of those 2 operators now gone, that's going to limit what Maycam can use to try to force back the roamers. It'll probably be a lot more confrontational for Maycam. They're going to have to get in the faces of Reven rather than forcing them away with utility. And in terms of entry engagements, Reven have already looked a lot stronger in comparison to Maycam, just going off of Chalet. So for a map that Reven are obviously a lot more comfortable on by picking it in this best of 3, that Dokkaebi ban is going to favor them a lot more in comparison to Maycam.
Well, on the other side, looking at those defensive bans, that Azami ban is something that I gotta say, I was not expecting. Maybe before Solus got introduced, the Azami ban would have made sense, but we cannot forget the power of that Solus scanner here on a map like Villa. It's part of the reason why Valkyrie is so powerful on this map and why she was banned, is that those black eye cameras, while they give you information, this map, unlike many others, allows you to really exploit that information by getting a couple of nitro cells sent towards the feet of those attackers. That is also why Solus can be lethal on this map. The impact grenades and, of course, her ability to just identify the position of any attacker at any given moment if they are sitting on their drone or they are getting that diffuser down or using a gadget. That is where Runner is going to come in. So working your way into this top floor, like Maycam are probably hoping to do, if they want to clear their way from that master side over to Aviator, they are going to have to be very wary of the presence of Runner down below. And if you're going to want to get on your drone at any point, you're going to have to really think about that. Make sure that there's nobody sitting down below, or simply, if you're droning, stay outside so you can't get harmed.
They're really hitting the nail right in its head, Jonah. As it seems like for Maycam, they are opting to start from the Astro and Master side of the map. They have a little bit of flank watch potential and info to stop anyone who could be roaming or opting to flank later in this round. Infamy with those 2 Claymores, specifically talking about that flank watch, and intel with those EE1Ds, and also the Iana Gemini that Haas is currently wielding. Also a cutoff angle by Wolves. So if there is someone to try to walk down through Boar after giving up statue or trophy, they're going to be caught off guard by someone playing in that position. But Draw, speaking of someone on the realm, he's actually able to get away down in through Kitchen and could maybe recontest in case someone gets too aggressive by Mud, but doesn't seem to be the case. So a bit of map control given away here by Reven, but no one has fallen just yet, so they could obviously retake that later in the round if they choose to.
But Draw, his position is known. We just heard the EE1D go out. Oh god, not exactly what I predicted. Please, not like this. Runner, somehow he misses the kill onto Infamy, but as Hosk tries to come in and reclaim it, he gets fried as well. Unfortunate timing for the Yana. Joe will tack on another, taking care of M-King, the Habana, and the sole source of hard breach on this attacking lineup. Disaster strikes for Maycam. They're going to have to just frag their way out of this hole that they now find themselves in. A little bit of information will be nice. Maybe might allow Infamy to work his way up this long haul, but Reven, they are sitting pretty and sitting comfortable right now.
Yeah, so many options you can use just to play for range, use those toxic babes. Unfortunately, Joe is to fall, but that's not going to sacrifice all too much for Reven. Again, they still have that first floor presence, so if someone were to try to plant that diffuser, it could be denied by the Solus or Sam, who has his toxic babes available to him in this final 40 seconds. But the flank potential by Draw is also there. We saw him hop up a hatch inside of Master, and now could get full control of 90 if he plays his cards right.
Watch it. Here he comes. That's a free kill. Maybe a second around the other side on red stairs. He's going to have to fight for that one because Navi's knows he's coming at that point. He'll end up giving up his life rather than trying to play time. Maybe a poor call there, but still, Reven are up that 3v2 advantage right now, and Maycam, they only have 15 seconds. They have to get a move on. Runner sitting on the other side of this doorway. 2 easy kills sit in front of him. He's able to pick up 1, and Wrath is able to get the second. Job done for Reven after a clinical roam down below. One that I think we saw coming, John, but Maycam just didn't seem to have the counter for.
Yeah, huge loss and a big blunder by that as well by Maycam to not have anyone clear out that first floor, not having a Nook to try to avoid any kind of info, which, I mean, playing devil's advocate, it wouldn't have gone that well depending on where the Solis was because she can hard counter Nook's health scanner. But needless to say, not having anyone in general, Jonah, clearing out that first floor is a huge problem when you still have loads of info ops and also other defenders that can be very mobile, like that Oryx last second popping up through the hatch and getting a kill 90, just causing more chaos in those final 40 seconds. But to dart back quickly at the first point we made, losing those 2 defenders immediately and one of them being your hard breacher while doing that master overclear, it limits Maycam's options in the late round. They can't get the vault wall opened up. They can't rotate the study to get an angle that could benefit when they try to push into the bomb site, or just forcing out someone by study in general. So with that immediate loss of life by Maycam, it cripples them not only by having a man disadvantage, but also limiting where they can push from and what other areas they can try to clear out.
The fact of the matter is, there's a Solis on the board. You cannot be droning on a soft floor unless you know for a fact that there is nobody downstairs. And unfortunately for Maycam in that last round, it was quite the opposite. The EE1D scanner from the Lion went out, identified the Oryx downstairs. Maybe they figured, all right, it's not going to be a Solis. We're going to be fine. But in that case, they figured wrong. Tough start for Maycam, but they'll be looking to remedy that, and they won't have to worry about the same problems for 2 reasons. 1, no Solis. Much more tame attacking lineup. No Oryx either. But the other thing is that they're going more direct. They're pressuring this site from that master balcony, from that aviator window, rather that astronomy window, pardon me. And they're not going to have to worry about making their entry from the other side of the map. They're still going to have to worry about this aggression. They're still going to have to worry about someone like Joe just swinging on a window and just taking the carpet out from under you. But at the end of the day, they're not going to have, in theory, as many problems getting into this site. But, I mean, as I say that, Reven, they have put up a hell of a fight so far.
Ooh, and the ADS not being caught by the terror drone, still allowing for Joe to sit here quite comfortably. A second drone passes him by, but he's able to eliminate it this time. And also Wrath covering his bathroom window. Joe almost getting a bit too aggressive, though, falls away from Closet, and a nade is there to follow suit. Finally, the Madman has been taken down, but that wasted so much utility by the side of Maycam, and it burned away half of the action phase. I'd say that was a pretty valuable position for Joe to hold, and Draw finds a refrag through the soft wall. You've got to be kidding me. Infamy hops in to try to get something done, but Wrath denies it from happening, and that leaves Maycam in a 2v4 with no nades left in their back pocket, and really no way to make space.
Yeah, talk about doing your job to perfection, John. That's exactly what Joe just did. He's there to get kills, but more than that, he's there to be a nuisance, waste time, put the attackers in awkward positions, and just really be a pain in the butt. And, well, by God, he did that beautifully. Maycam, they now find themselves in a 2v4, and they find themselves in a pretty tough spot without a lot of options here. They've got the diffuser in hand, if that's something that they want to pursue, but realistically, in a situation like this, you've got to hunt for the kills, and you've got to avoid being killed by someone like Wrath. He swings up, the UMP is enough to get 1, and the impact grenade from Runner will be enough to get the second from this nice angle on the red stairs. Actually, nice angle from below, in fact, after he knew where the Yana was positioned. Reven, they keep it going. That's back-to-back round wins on the defensive side.
And I like the idea by Maycam to try to rotate, realizing that they're not getting anything done by Master, and there's still all these Syria gates and magnets building up these long angles you can have all the way from Trophy Room, looking through the, parallel bomb site of Statuary into Master. So it doesn't seem very, plausible to go in from that direction anymore. You've got to rotate and try something different. But it took way too long to get that ball rolling. You're already in a 2v4. And as I mentioned earlier, not a lot of time and a lack of grenades. It's not going to bode well for you when you're already in that 2 versus 4 position. Reven just kind of, took the ball running and never stopped running in round number 2. And already a fantastic start for Reven on this defensive half. They now have to go into the tertiary bomb site of dining room and kitchen, but that also allows them to turn that notch just a little bit farther in the roam department, which has been their strength so far on Vil.
Worth reminding everyone that, as we discussed earlier on the desk with Jacob, that Maycam Evolve, this is not their map pick, so they got to choose what side of the map they started on, and they elected to choose attack. Almost always, you're going to pick the side of the map that you believe you are going to start out stronger on. It gives you just a much better setup in terms of confidence, in terms of momentum, yes, but it also just is objectively the right way to go, because if you have a winning half, you don't have to worry about winning as many rounds on the second half. You win, 4 rounds on attack, for example. You come out, you only have to win 2 rounds on defense, and, bada bing, bada boom, you're walking away with a map win. In this case, Maycam, they wanted to attack first, so we expect to see them do a lot better than this on the attack. Just 2 rounds in, there's still a lot of attacking rounds for them to go, and they could absolutely still find 4 rounds if it's within their power, but just based on the way that these 2 rounds have been going, it is all Reven right now.
Timeout, of course, is still available to Maycam if they need it. We saw that being pretty potent for them earlier in this matchup, but Reven once again just springing up and causing just a complete muck against Maycam. They are not having a great time so far in this first half. Hosk is looking to maybe get a bit of assistance here by the Ashe to push away this defender inside of Library. Eventually they do so, and a beautiful readjustment there by Hosk, and Infamy with the assist for a second time. Whips at the pistol and stops the flank dead in its tracks by Drazi. Tried falling in through the hatch, but they have another one to worry about. The double down by both Joe and Runner in sync. Mesh up 2 separate 1-for-1s, and as the moment we saw Maycam spring back with that man advantage, they lose it, and now it's a direct 1 versus 1 for Runner, but he's caught in the reload, forced to fall away deeper inside of Statuary, giving Wolf a little more time to breathe, but still, he's a little bit unaware as to where Runner could be pushing in from. He expects this readjustment by the Astro Stairs, but Runner gets away with his life for a second time. The shift key paying dividends for Runner. He's back in the bomb site.
The dude is sprinting across the entire map right now. What are we watching, John? What is this round? Reven have just sent every defensive body at every attacker they could find, and now it's a standoff in this 1v1. Wolf is, of course, in an awkward position because he's got to make something happen. He's the attacker. He's got the responsibility to make something work, and all Runner has to do is avoid this. No diffuser in pocket for Wolf. He's going to play for this kill. And I think Runner, he knows this, so he's just going to keep running away. He's now scurried, I'd argue, about every inch of square foot on this map. And, well, he's going to keep doing that. He will hear the shot from Wolf, knows that the Lion has backed off, so he will reaggress and take up a stronger position to deny the plant, potentially, now that Wolf has this diffuser in his hand, but still a very precarious position for the Lion. Getting it off now at 10 seconds, gives him a chance to get this down in time, forces Runner to step up early, but, ooh, a good bait, C4. Runner, another good bait, such good time waste, no shot! Wolf around the other side, he makes it happen with a half-second remaining on the clock. That is unbelievable.
Oh, and Runner, he tried his best. He did such a good job until the very end, but with the Lion, such limited options, Wolf just sprung up. Hoped he had enough time to win that gunfight, and with Runner not able to fall away, he does exactly that, and at least wins the tertiary bomb site for his team. Maycam now having the score of 1-2, but that was by the skin of their teeth, and they still have to worry about Aviator and Trophy Room, two bomb sites, where Reven was just clearly doing better against them. To think if that C4 was placed in the right direction, it wasn't, tossed out by China near that kitchen room bomb chassis, and instead it was placed by the rotate, that could have been wraps of the Lion, and we would have seen a flawless rotation by Reven. Is just mind-boggling. Or if there was 1 less second for the Lion to play with, that too, that could have also been make or break.
That may have been one of the craziest rounds I have seen, not only in LATAM across this stage, but every single region. I mean, good grief. I mean, that was hilarious. And Reven, I mean, you gotta love the game plan there. Just the moment they claimed those 2 early kills, they decided, all right, let's just attack. Let's just become the attacking team. We know that Maycam wanted to be the attackers. What if we flipped the script and just ran at them? We saw almost every single engagement during that round happen in living room and library. Happen when Maycam were trying to just hop into the building, and they were miraculously able to fight back. We saw a couple of really good shots from them, by the way, so they absolutely deserve to get those kills, especially because Reven seemed happy enough to allow them to have those chances, right? But yeah, Maycam, they will take their first round on Villa. Not the prettiest form ever, but they will do it. Unfortunately for them, round number 4 not off to a hot start either, as Navi's, the clear and away MVP for his team in that first map of Chalet, is going to be the first to fall here in this 4th round.
Having a really slow start so far in the first half, and Maycam, despite losing that first engagement, they're looking to adapt a little bit from the mistakes they made last time they were attacking Aviator. They're actually trying to clear out the first floor a little bit to maybe push back some of those roamers that could be working for those initial gunfights. We already had that happen across the map by Joe, of course, but no 5-on-3, so it's technically better. But there's also Vertical working in the way of MyCam, or pardon, for Reven against MyCam. Perhaps as Joe is looking to maybe catch somebody off guard if they end up pushing a bit too deep inside of Piano, and that happens, but no shots connect, so luckily Infamy will stay alive for the time being, but might have to be a little bit more passive trying to deal with the person over an 80. A bit of a game of cat and mouse, it seems.
Yeah, we'll see Infamy here doing what he can with his skeleton key, trying to catch out one of these defenders from below. Same thing goes for Hosk here. Nade goes up, trying to make something work, but didn't know there was somebody prone on the stairs, blending into the red brick, and just sitting there, lying in wait. Maycam will lose some more bodies, and Reven will put themselves in another winning position. As long as they can hold on to this lead, it's a 3v1. You still have Runner on the Solus, so even if MKing is able to walk into the bomb site, even if he is able to kill the other 2 defenders, frankly, he is out of luck. There's still a C4 in Draw's pocket, 2 smokes. Talk about lethal utility on the side of this Reven defense. And for the ace, 2 Claymores this late in the round in his pocket. Yeah, they're not going to do him much good. He'll pick up that kill onto Draw because, well, the Mutant really was hungry for that kill. But he'll look for more as he works his way up above. Spraying through the rotate, trying to take care of anybody who might be lurking behind the maps table. But now, Reven, they've clearly settled down. They saw what happened in that last round. They know the consequences of doing a little too much too soon. So they're going to wait. MKing will have to swing into them, and Runner, he'll finish it out himself.
Once again, that entry conversion looking pretty well overall for Reven, having Joe find that first gunfight against Navi's, set the tone for the round. And as well, missing out on a couple of opportunities to work those nades below with Vertical. Having Navi's alive could have maybe broke more utility in the bomb site, or have found some sort of opening kill, perhaps, that could have tipped the tide back in the favor for Maycam, which has been somewhat of a flip-flop for them, even on Villa now for their attacking half. And a timeout being called once again, the best option we could see by them is a 3-3 half if this timeout ends up setting a good enough precedent against Reven. But I'm not too sure they're going to have the perfect, remedy for, at the very least, trophy room and statuary. They really had no control in that round whatsoever. They struggled so much with just trying to clear out the initial extension over by Closet, let alone the rest of the map they were also trying to deal with in the late round once that master clear backfired.
Well, one thing I pointed out about Chalet, John, before we started Villa, was that Maycam were overall the better team on the entry, and in terms of those opening kills, it may not have dictated the outcome of the round every single time, but they were winning more opening engagements than they were losing. Unfortunately, I think you probably know where I'm going with this, they have not had the same success here on Villa. In fact, they have not won a single opening duel so far on this map. It has been Reven every single time to get that first blood and to start the round off strong. And in some cases, they're not only getting one opening kill, but they're getting a second before anything is traded back by the attack of Maycam Evolve. So Reven, they are playing well right now. They are clearly the stronger team on this first half of Villa, and we need to see Maycam make some pretty substantial changes after this timeout if they want to find some success.
Or Reven going with the old saying of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going for a carbon copy of what they brought out last time they defended this bomb site. But Maycam, luckily, is changing things up just a little bit, starting with a study overtake and having a lot of, right tools for that job at least. But Runner as well, potentially expecting this, is a little more aggressive over by the map's table, makes a nice little angle for himself if he wants to pick between the study doorway or maybe even that aviator wall. He even has backup by a teammate too. They could try to double team on this position, but end up falling away instead, maybe looking to hold a crossfire by that choke point of the skull doorway, which I can't really fault them for that. They've already burned away about 40 to 50 seconds in the round, and only now have Maycam forced back that initial threat. And there's still an opportunity to flank later on, but eventually that first gunfight goes the way of Maycam for once. Hosk eliminating Joe. That rivalry still lingers on here in map number 2. But again, the time frame of Maycam has been just about average so far. They still need to keep the same tempo and not allow Reven to reset.
Once again, the caster's curse slapping me in the face. Reven will not get the opening pick for the first time on Villa, now that I chose to point that out. My mistake, Reven. That's my bad. But at the end of the day, Maycam, let's see that comeback, baby. Let's make a move here. They've got the opening kill in this round. They've got the man advantage. Oh, no. But they'll lose it pretty quickly. Wrath with a nice shot onto Navi's, who has been really shut down so far this map. 2 and 5 right now for the Sledge. Thankfully, Hosk, he may start to heat up a little bit here. Joining Infamy now. Getting some more kills. You lost Wrath. And you only have 3 defenders left to hold this one down. It's going to come down to Draw and how he can hold this angle with a shotgun.
Doesn't seem like Maycam is aware of this. To Gemini just catches him. The engagement prepared now by the Iana nade card in hand that allows Draw to step up. A massive kill found for Draw. And now Maycam, they're somewhat limited as to how they can force back this mute, as they don't have anyone holding that front. And Sam, a massive hop out. There's no one master. It's just the statue door presence now, Jonah.
Oh, Infamy. Oh, he's in a crossfire. He's got nowhere to go. Same goes for Wolf here. He just doesn't have the option he needs. Will take care of Draw. He knows where one other might be positioned, but he simply doesn't have the resources to make this work. Sam is low HP. Really just needs to breathe on him, but he just doesn't know where he is. Didn't know where he'd be peeking from. This angle from Master, predictable but lethal, and Sam will make it work. Reven continue to punish Maycam and continue to find success here on Villa.
And when you're at that disadvantage, Jonah, it's not a bad idea to get aggressive and hope to go for some of those engagements that might seem a little more favorable for the attack, but it's going to be just as favorable for them to try to push in through that execute with the 4 versus 3 advantage. So having Draw close the distance, get aggressive with that shotgun, and eliminate the Iana was huge. Not only that, but Sam doing the exact same thing across the map, pulling the only defender by Master. That left only Statuary as a viable option, since there were no other attacker trying to push in from Astra, so they can't really help assist their trophy player. They can only push in from Statuary. And again, with Sam still being inside of Master, he can hold this long angle right by that single doorway, and with someone also between both Trophy and Statuary, they can help establish a crossfire to really put Maycam in an awkward spot, which happened in exactly the final 20 seconds of the round once they lost both the Iana and that player rotating across the map from Master. And now we go back to the only bomb site where Maycam have actually won a round against Reven. And that was, again, by the skin of their teeth, dining room and kitchen. Let's hope things bode a little bit better for them, but if that is the case, it's still a 2-4 half, and we've seen what happens when you see Maycam in that dire spot of just only a 2-4 half and not anything even.
We're going to see now from Reven the use of the Pulse and the C4s that he brings and that Runner brings to make Maycam's entry game just as a team so challenging here. They want to work their way in up above. Well, they're going to meet some explosives, and if they want to work their way in directly, They're going to meet a bullet to the face, thanks to Sam. A well-placed shot onto Wolf, but not a very difficult one, as Wolf didn't really shoot back. Sam got that kill, no problem, and Reven are sitting pretty. I didn't even notice we had a third C4 in play from Wrath, but he's actually already used that. I think we heard it go off in the prep phase, so potentially using that to establish a rotate, get a couple more angles to work with, but whatever it may have been used for, probably doesn't matter too much. Reven, they are sitting pretty right now and don't really have much to worry about.
Minute burned away here for Maycam as they're still looking to go for a bit of a half and half on this horizontal and vertical coverage up above. It seems to be a very hefty task, though, for only Navis to be on that top floor. Haas, though, across the map is just inside of Memo. Could this be a telltale sign of a potential execute, Jonah?
I mean, it may be. They're trying to make a quick move. Unfortunately, it's going to get shut down just as quickly. Haas, he's got to be careful here. You're looking at a deployable shield, buddy. They can see you perfectly, and you're out in the open. That's not a fight you're going to win. M-King is now all alone in a 1v4, 1v3 now that Draw's been taken care of, but Reven are just taking this map and running away with it. Seconds away from a 5-1 half after Maycam Evolve elected to start on attack. After they said attack will be our stronger side, they are only able to claim one round on the map as a whole. A tough start for them, but Reven sitting very pretty going into their rather attacking half in a moment.
And all that Reven needs to do is just win the 2 tertiary bomb site. You know, technically speaking, 2 round wins on their attacking half. That's all they're going to need to win the series. Not even just the map as a whole, just beating Maycam completely. So going into the second half with a 5-1 split is a huge sigh of relief for Reven because they just have rounds to bleed, and they also have a timeout still. So if they're looking to spot any kind of weaknesses that Maycam are showing on their defensive half, they're going to have about a minute's time to just talk with not only themselves but their potential coach as well, just to figure out what they could use to their advantage to pinpoint those errors and maybe get a round win off of it. That might not even be from a tertiary bomb site like Dining Room.
Oh man, talk about a comeback needed here for Maycam. I'm really trying to manifest it as best I can, but I just don't know if it's going to happen, John. It's just not looking like their game. Maycam, they're winless so far this stage. If they wanted to have any chance at making it into that playoff bracket, they needed to win here over Reven. And again, that's not just a one map win, that is a series win. So they still need 4 rounds to tie us up. They still have to, more likely, send us to overtime and take the win there, go into Oregon and take the win there as well. And at that point, their fate would not entirely be in their hands because there are still some other games to play. Still, a lot of other teams in this group hungry for this victory. Early in this round, Joe is going to feel the pressure from Maycam, not the other way around, and he'll get the opening kill, but eventually it'll go the other way. Look at this, though, from Reven. The confidence that they are moving in this map. They've got the Blitz at the helm, and they've got kills to boot. It's just Infamy and Hosk, all that remain.
Vulcan back deployed as well, so Amai gonna have a really tough time getting back into the bomb site. Lands a nice shot though against the Blitz, so he's gone. But Infamy taken care of by the flank watch of that DMR, and Runner as well springs up from study room, gets the final kill of the round, and Reven already, if you blinked, you might have missed that round, but they've set themselves up with match and series point on Villa, and it took them like a minute 30 flat, just hopping in from both Master and the top of study at the exact same time, winning that entry engagement, causing a bit of trouble across the map, allowing just enough movement for the rest of their teammates to get in from study and really let the main course of that play just work out without a hitch.
Yeah, 5-1 quickly turned to 6-1, and a 7-1 is around the corner, unless we see a dramatic turn of events from Maycam. It didn't happen on the attack. Don't know why we should expect it to happen on defense again. And I hate to beat a dead horse here, but it was shocking to see Maycam pick attack on Villa. And I think for good reason, because it's just not clicking for them on this map. They just didn't have a cohesive game plan. And Reven are taking it to them. Frankly, we're not seeing like massive strategic misplays from Maycam. We're just seeing Reven play better. That's a good victory. That's what we want to see. We'd rather see a team playing well and winning rather than a team playing badly and losing. And that is the case here. Reven, they are playing better, and Maycam are just getting beat. It's not like Maycam are beating themselves too badly. Of course, there are plenty of things we need to see them do better if they want to have success here against Reven. We've got to see them play a lot more coordinated if they want to deny the entry here from Reven, from someone like Joe. Frankly, from anybody on this team right now, all of whom are putting up incredible numbers. I mean, Joe's actually tied for bottom fragger. You've got Runner, you've got Wrath, all of whom, like, they're putting up better numbers. Draw and Sam, who are even. Everybody on this team is hungry for kills, and Maycam need to unite if they want to slow it down.
A pretty important round to win here for Reven, as I believe if my numbers are correct, this could even leapfrog them against Malvinas if they take this 7-1. That would give them a +10 round differential and put them in first place for their group seeding, a massive benefit for them, as that would really punch their ticket to have the best chance possible at getting into the Copenhagen Major. But for now, we'll focus on the proper outcome of the action phase at the moment, and that might be a little bit muddied now, as Wolves will win that first engagement against Joe, as he's now dropped dead by the shotgun. That first floor clear not working all too well, as Reven would have probably expected from the get-go, and so far Maycam have been doing a pretty good job at just keeping Reven at bay.
That's exactly what's happening here up above in Master. We're watching it unfold in front of our eyes because you've got someone like Haas who's just sitting there wasting time. This is the same position we saw Joe in a few rounds ago when Reven were on defense, wasting time, of course, and being a massive nuisance. He's also picked up a kill. That's a nice little bonus for Maycam. Oh, and he's gonna pick up two. That's a nasty shot, and maybe the energy that Hosk and Maycam as a whole are going to need if they want Villa to have any success for them at all. But frankly, there is still a long way to go. Runner, he doesn't stand a chance, as you've got M King up above holding that hatch. And honestly, a flawless round for Maycam is nice to see. But they are still 4 rounds away from earning any respect from Reven at the moment.
And the choice now for Maycam is, where do they go next? They have to pick pretty much every single bomb site at some point, but do they opt to try to reattempt going Aviator in games with maybe some sort of adjustment in terms of composition, or do they potentially go in through dining? It seems like for Maycam, they'll opt to go to Aviator, and their lineup looks pretty familiar. Still a very heavy emphasis on utility ops that could stop any kind of execute, dead in its tracks. You got the Toxic Babes, Vulcan Packs, My Magnets, even the Syria Gates, which were brought out as well from the last time we saw Aviator in play. But Reven, for the most part, just ignored it because there weren't many defenders really prepared to hold some of those power positions around all that utility. You saw Reven just willing to close that gap almost immediately in the round, and it didn't allow Maycam to really play off of any of those Toxic Babes or Vulcan Packs. But this time for Reven, opting for a completely different lineup, so I could imagine they're going to be forced to waste a lot more time when it comes to that utility burn, unless Draw can manage to sneak in a couple of her Terror Drones to maybe break some of those key locations, like the Skull Doorway, where we see a majority of those Vulcan Packs placed.
Right, that's the beauty of those Rotero drones and the Flores that has really come in and changed up the game a little bit and given attacking teams a lot more flexibility with how they want to play it. It's not all about the Wamai Magnets and the Jaeger ADSs. If you can, sneak a Rotero drone in there, avoiding the mute jammers and whatever else the defense can throw at you, yeah, you can take away those power positions, force those defenders to relocate, and get things done in no time. Start this one out, though. Reven are going to do a time-saving approach, you could call it. They're going to get in the face of this defense pretty quickly by getting on the rappel here and trying to get into Master as soon as they can, pressuring right on into someone like Navi, someone like Haas. While initially they got a couple of bullets landing on the defense, they also found a couple of bullets landing on Runner and a death as well, now that Joe has fallen.
Once again, not a great start here for Reven, especially losing out on your only operator with grenades. But at least they get control of Astro and a majority of the master bedroom as well, so they can begin to work their way over towards 90, but that location has not been forfeit just yet by the defense as well. So it'll be a little bit more time spent up by Reven and maybe taking another engagement that might not bode well for them, especially with this deployable shield in anticipation of this 90 side attack by Reven. Luckily, Draw still has a couple of terror drones in pocket, so if they locate that deployable shield, they can maybe destroy it. But once again, that's just going to cost even more time and resources. And Maycam have already done a pretty decent job of not only winning that first engagement, but burning away a large chunk of time off the timer for Reven.
And they've got 90 control, and they've got this vault wall open. But like you said, actually, no, not 90 control. They may have also thought they had it because Sam just rounded the corner and did not expect Haas to be greeting him with a couple of bullets to the face, but that is exactly what we see there. And that deployable shield, well, it's still up. That's why Draw is going to pull out that Rotero drone. He knows what he has to do if he wants to get down that hallway safely, but there's really not enough support here for Draw to make this happen. He's got to be wary of several angles at once. He doesn't have the time really nor the manpower to make this work. There's still a Wamai in position. There's still explosives being sent out from the defense in their face, and Runner on so low HP, he cannot afford to push into the smoke. Such a good job right now for Maycam, stalling time and denying this entry. It looks like we're gonna have to see yet another round before Reven are able to close this one out. Wrath is now the last player standing, and it may be back-to-back flawless rounds for Maycam. Is that what we're seeing right now? Not quite. Finally denied there is M-King, but Wrath will not stand a chance as Hosk sneaks in from behind. Round number 9 goes the way of Maycam, still keeping their hopes alive.
And the change up by Maycam to have a bigger focus on being disciplined in the late round is definitely showing in how they're playing. After they find that first engagement, they just fall away. They give up a large majority of the map, but then they can just fall back into the bomb site, play off of those deployable shields, play off of those Vulcan packs and Toxic Babes, and it leaves Reven at this brick wall that they aren't able to break down or really hop over in that position. So with them not having a lot of abilities to close that gap and fight people properly from 90, as they've got another angle to worry about from that vault wall. They can't push in through Skull because there's someone over by Study. Because they cannot accomplish that, Maycam, with having the man advantage on top of these solid positions, are able to just, fizzle away the timer and wait for Reven to lose, either by not having any more seconds on the round or just losing by trying to desperately hop into the bomb site and end up dying from these power positions. But a timeout called by Reven, expecting, Dining Room to be up next, since we just saw Trophy and Aviator won twice in a row by Maycam, and hopefully looking to just have a bit of a breather before moving in to this first floor bomb site. Definitely not a bad idea, but maybe jumping a little bit too ahead of themselves, maybe not fully prepared as to what Maycam could be bringing on Dining Room could be a small issue. But the idea of setting up this timeout before Maycam win too many rounds and get close to overtime, I think that is a great idea in and of itself, done by Reven.
Yeah, if you take the timeout a little later, then Maycam have a lot more momentum. Your team comms get worse and worse. You're getting more flustered, right? Makes total sense to try to stop the bleeding here. At the end of the day, you can also suggest that it could be disastrous, right? If Reven lose this round, then all of a sudden Maycam, they've not only built the momentum, but they've chewed their way through the timeout. You can no longer ice them, and they can just kind of run away with it. But truthfully, that's not what we're seeing right now. It is a Reven team who has been pretty strategic, has been pretty smart with the adjustments we've been seeing them make between rounds, even if there isn't a timeout leading into it. So Reven are showing us that they are a versatile team when the time comes and if they need to be. But right now, simply just avoiding these spawn peaks, avoiding this early aggression from Maycam, that's their #1 priority.
And we saw earlier, Jonah, that interesting little Cade Claw position by M-King over by that back table. That's going to make it very challenging for the pocket EMPs to connect properly to allow that pantry wall being opened up. So the little things like that are going to limit Reven in the late round when they try to execute, if they can. They still have to focus on defenders like Hosk, of course, who are currently nestled inside of Piano. Really no way of falling out unless they were to do so right now, but they overstay their welcome and are swiftly punished by Joe, finally getting himself back on the board in a proper way to help out the rest of Reven, as this roam clear so far is working out quite well for them, but it's not the end of the battle just yet. They still have to worry about Navi's and Infamy, who are more than willing to hold down by Library as long as they can.
No kidding. Even after losing a body, Maycam, they really want this extension to work, this roam, to have some purchase over the remainder of this attack. Infamy and, as you pointed out, Navi still in this position, trying to just give themselves some more options to play with. Getting aggressive here now. Navi's, that C4 could find something, and it will. Fully finishing off Draw, completely taking him out of the fight. And just like that, Reven, well, I was going to say, they've now lost the advantage, but now they've quickly regained it, as Navi's will once again try to hold that position a little too long. Infamy, it's his turn to see if he's going to make that same mistake. It looks like finally he will elect to rotate back. So Reven, a tough fight on the entry and on that roam clear, but they've gotten past the worst of it.
But now what Reven still needs to accomplish is finding a way to rotate a little more effectively in this final minute. You see everyone begin to pile up by both Laundry and Bicycle to let this first floor execute begin to sort of blossom here. Joe nets a very important kill, make it a double as well. 3 overall for the Iana, as it's just M-King, and this might be the beginning of the end as Sam barges in from Laundry. The final kill is confirmed for Reven, and they manage to defeat Maycam instantly, 7-3. What a performance by them, completely shutting out the opposition.
Yeah, it wasn't the 7-1 that it looked like it might be, but 7-3 at the end of the day, that is just as